Now, this meal is a really healthy fish meal, and it's one that Mike and I, my husband, and I really enjoy. We're using a medley of fish. So I've got salmon, I've got cod, I've got smoked haddock, which my husband really likes, the yellow stuff. You can have it undyed, so it's entirely your choice. I cook this in the oven, but you could very easily cook it in a microwave. Just follow the instructions, and I buy them in individually packed in a bigger pack I buy them from Marks and Spencer's, but you buy them from wherever you want to buy them from. But the salmon is oily fish, which is really good. I mean, you should have some once a week at least. And it's low in calories. Now, in this recipe, I haven't specified how many calories are in this, because it depends which fish you have as to how many it is. But I can give you assurance that eating this sort of fish is low in calories. Right, now I've got half pint of milk here, and I'm going to make a beautiful low-fat white sauce. So I'm going to put into this milk a whole onions, which has been sliced. I'm also going to put in a couple of bay leaves, so one and another decent sized one, two. I don't know what it is about bay leaves, but when they are really good for this sort of flavouring. And then we need some peppercorns. So we want probably about 10. I'm not going to count them, so we'll put those in. And then I'm going to put the lid on it. I'm going to put it on a low heat, and I'm going to bring it not to boiling point, but I'm going to bring it to a point of being almost boiling point. And then I'm going to check it in a minute, and then leave it with the lid on for about 20 minutes before I actually make the white sauce. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare the fish. So the fish is here, all nice and juicy and lovely. It's been frozen, so it's fine, but it is such a convenient way of doing it, it really is. And it keeps the smell of fish to an absolute minimum. I'm putting lots of black pepper on it, so that's always a good idea. When you're doing low-fat food, black pepper is our saviour there. Now, then I've got some tin foil here, which I'm going to put over the fish and just seal it in so it doesn't go dry. Now, you could microwave it, and you do cook fish at the temperature that you want to according to instructions, so it's fine. Then I'm going to put this in the bottom oven of this Aga. And so we're talking a moderate oven, basically. So I'm just going to open that and put it on the top shelf and cook that for about 15 minutes. Okay, so that's in there. And then once it's done, I'll just keep it warm until the sauce is made. So I'll have a quick look at this. Let's get an oven cloth and see. The lovely thing about the white sauce made this way is that it basically allows the flavours of the onion, the peppercorns and the bay leaves just to flavour the milk, which is fab. So that's heating away there. It's not boiling yet, but I'm going to leave it there. And then I'm going to start slaking, that's what they call it, slaking the corn flour. So, excuse me, corn flour is brilliant when you're doing low-fat cooking, because you don't want to make a roux. Make a roux, you use flour and butter. So we don't want to do that. So I'm putting here a good tablespoon of corn flour into my water, and I'm into the milk, and then I'm just stirring it. Now, what will happen for this, if I leave it, which I'm going to for about 20 minutes, the corn flour will all settle at the bottom. So before you start using it as a thickening agent, you really must stir it all around again. But it works really well. And what I will do is just stir it into the really hot milk when it comes to me being ready to serve it. I will drain all the peppercorns and the onion and the bay leaves off through a colander, and then I will mix that in and now heat it up, stirring all the time, and then it will be beautifully thick to pour over the fish. So we'll come back when it's at the finishing stages. Well, the fish is all cooked and I'm just keeping it warm here. So this is how it looks now. It's cooked and it's piping hot. That'll be absolutely fine left as it is. This is still warm and I'm going to just pour that through my sieve to get rid of all the bay leaves and the onions and everything else. So that's good. That's done. So that just needs to go onto here. I think that'll do fine. So that'll go there, that's fine. Now I'm going to pour that back into the saucepan and I'm going to add the corn flour to it. So I need to put this over here and bring it to almost boiling point now. And then I need to stir in my slaked corn flour. Now I've given it a good stir, so the corn flour just slightly thicker milk at the moment. I've got more milk and more corn flour if I need it. So I'm just going to pour that in, sort of fairly gently, don't put it all in at once, work it through and then just allow it to heat up. Now just to save you having to wait too long, I'm going to give it a little bit of a boost over here. Just to heat up a little bit longer, faster rather, and then I'll go back over there as it thickens. There we are. Just keep stirring all the time, really important when you're using corn flour. If you haven't got corn flour, you could use arrowroot. Arrowroot is a bit more translucent in its finish, but that's going to put that back now. The great thing about the agar is you've got a really hot plate there and it just gives it a really good boost. So keep that going, keep on stirring it, and that's great. Dawn, could you just come and stir this for me? And then I will start putting the fish on the dish and let me know the consistency of it, if you don't mind. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to halve, well you can see that all right, we're going to do that. I'm going to halve this in the middle because when I serve this up for my husband and myself, I will only have half a piece of salmon and then I will have half a piece of cod. And then I will have half one of these portions, so a tail end of the smoked haddock, and I'll put that on there, and then I would serve that for myself with some, well, we'd both have new potatoes and broccoli or broccoli spears, maybe some asparagus, whatever is in season at the moment. And then I would put the other portion for my husband, which I'm going to put over here, and so he really loves this yellow haddock, the smoked haddock. And so I'm going to put that at the bottom. And it really is a fish medley. And it works wonderfully as a meal. And the skin just comes off the salmon sort of in the dish. So that's not going to be a problem at all. And there we have it. And then the piece here. And I had never thought that my husband would really like fish, like this dish. But he really enjoys it. It's one of his most favourite meals of the week. So there we are. I'm going to put that to one side. And then how are we doing with it? Are we? Oh, we're perfect. That's absolutely perfect. We're brilliant. So then I will just pour, thank you, Dawn, pour this over to serve. And there we have our beautiful fish medley with white sauce.